And things are really heating up in Baden-Württemberg. They're not even in coalition talks yet, and they're already at each other's throats, going after each other with knives. This is going to turn out just great for Baden-Württemberg. And I have to tell you, dear Christian Democratic Union voters, dear Green voters, this is exactly what you wanted, what's about to happen. And I'm telling you, chaos is going to break out in Baden-Württemberg. Just a little side note, which, by the way, is pretty important. VW reported a huge drop in profits this morning and is heading into the next quarter with dramatic numbers.
Now it's about showing that we're not getting a Christian Democratic Union with a green coat of paint, but that we're getting a consistent climate policy, that we finally stop fishing for right-wing conservative votes.
Girl, let me explain politics to you real quick. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Let me know in the comments. Politics works like this. If you don't have an absolute majority in any federal state, then you depend on a coalition partner. And basically, the people say roughly what they want. The people in Baden-Württemberg have made it very clear. We want a center-right government, and after that comes the Greens. By the way, you would really help this channel a lot with a like and a subscription. That maybe we will win the next elections here in Germany again, that there will finally be a change in politics, continuing with the Social Democratic Party. They're doing exactly what you should do when, well, 3/4 of all people in Germany already hate you anyway.
Yes, and right after this election debacle in Baden-Württemberg, the Social Democratic Party doesn't want to talk about it publicly for now. The leadership has imposed a kind of gag order on the party, according to the Bild newspaper. This will apply until the state election in Rhineland-Palatinate in just under 2 weeks.
Of course, they're extremely panicked that they could lose their influence in the Bundesrat. So, for those who don't know, in the Bundesrat, which has to approve laws, the Social Democratic Party is absolutely leading with, I think they have about 9 votes or 8 votes more than the Christian Democratic Union, and the Christian Democratic Union only has 1 vote more than the Greens. And now, since there are still a few other elections coming up, they simply told the Social Democratic Party, you're not allowed to say anything about it anymore. Yes, we also won't inform our voters and our members about what went wrong here. We will continue to stick to our policies because they've worked so well.
Social Democratic Party Minister President Alexander Schweitzer's election campaign there shouldn't be made harder. In Baden-Württemberg, the Social Democratic Party did as badly as never before, barely managing just over 5%. They only just made it into the state parliament.
Yes, and now just imagine if they were to lose these 3 votes in the Bundesrat as well, and then there's Saxony-Anhalt, which they will probably lose completely, and it will be completely colored blue. And in Mecklenburg-Vorpommern, you also have to assume that all these smear campaigns won't work anymore. Because what I'm about to show you is actually more of an exception here in Germany. And let me ask you, how do you feel when you see a video like that?
They only watch public broadcasting. Yeah, because for me, public broadcasters are the only credible news sources. Yeah, and apart from that, I think that's very good.
What they do?
You're messing with me now? No, that's not ironic. No, okay, yeah, that's how it is really. That's why they've never seen us. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, and with the clever move of the constitutional amendment, they don't even really know yet if the Constitutional Court is actually going to play along. Not even if it passes the first, second, and third readings. Especially with constitutional amendment matters, like now in Saxony-Anhalt, it gets pretty critical if you try to use old propaganda methods. And now just imagine any state, and then it cancels the state media. Arbeitsgemeinschaft der öffentlich-rechtlichen Rundfunkanstalten der Bundesrepublik Deutschland, ein zweites deutsches Fernsehen. What do you think, how many states would want to follow suit? And what do you think, how many Germans would actually turn away from it? So the Social Democratic Party decided, just close your eyes and push through. That's the best thing we can do. But you'll find out in this clip that they're not even the absolute dumbest with their decision.
The selection campaign comes across like a sore loser. She doesn't want to hear anything about Manuel Hegel's offer to resign. Instead, she demands that the term of office be split. Hegel and Özdemir each should be the boss for 2.5 years.
How left-wing has the Christian Democratic Union actually become? So first of all, if we look at it purely logically, yes, the Greens have won. The Greens are providing the minister-president. There are too many universities in Baden-Württemberg, and the people who live there simply aren't doing badly. We have to accept enough. That's fine for us. There's nothing we can do about it. Democracy means getting the majority of people on your side and making politics. We didn't manage to do that. Maybe, yes, because we weren't active enough. I'll be honest, maybe I didn't make enough videos, maybe I didn't go out enough, maybe I didn't reach enough people. But I won't let that happen to me again in the next election campaign. That's why I'm making these videos. Maybe you're out there too, that you didn't talk to people enough and kept bombarding them over and over again. It doesn't matter at all. Democracy works. We didn't do our job properly. We wanted a change in politics. Should that change? What the Christian Democratic Union is doing now, that's leftist, yes, leftist rabble behavior. I really have to say it like this. Yes, but now we also want the shared minister president. No, the winner takes it all. That's how it's always been. So dear Christian Democratic Union, please grow some balls.
We probably won't introduce a dual leadership for the office of Minister President either, although that could also be a suggestion. That's not my thing. We're adults here. We do adult politics.
Yes, please, no green nonsense, but economic policy. The largest economic location after Bavaria is absolutely on the brink. If the state financial equalization is abolished, then we'll have completely different problems here. And then the Social Democratic Party can also start thinking about the fact that the Bundesrat will soon fall into black and blue hands, because then things really won't be able to continue here. Whether the Conservatives will still be there then is another question. At some point, this country will be constantly divided between left and right. And then we can consider, okay, which one do we choose to get an absolutely stable majority again, like it used to be when one party actually had the majority? And that's why I have to say we should campaign, we should talk to the people out there. We should reach people to get many, many more people on our side at the end of the day. It has been shown in Baden-Württemberg that none of us have done enough. Otherwise, we would have gotten 20 or 21%. Yesterday, as I also said in my live stream, yes, many people told me, yes, election manipulation. I don't see any election manipulation with the clocks in these elections. Everyone confirmed that to me. It went super smoothly. They really voted green. It was exactly the city districts that have always been green, where a lot of students live. And of course, also people like the ones living in the next report who are already allowed to vote.
Borsian, who is required to leave in Cologne, is known to the police almost 150 times. Due to suspicion of criminal offences, there are 147 entries in the police system.
The 9-member family lives here on social benefits.
Do you think that migrants who receive social benefits and have a German passport would seriously vote for the alternative for Germany? No, never. The only questions are how many people come here and how much power they can secure. It's simple. Do you seriously believe that migrants who commit serious crimes here would vote for anything other than the left Social Democratic Party or Christian Democratic Union? That people who simply don't feel like working, I'm not talking about the sick, would go and vote for the alternative for Germany? No, that's what people who love their country do. That's what people who are simply fed up do. Of course, there are total refusers, and of course, there are also people who simply don't want to. I always say anyway, you should just leave them at home because they don't bring any added value anyway. But, and I have to say this too, you have to take a completely different approach to this. But as I said, these are the people who would definitely keep voting for these parties as long as we don't massively cut social benefits.